So here are two principles, benevolence and truth. And so, whenever the truth is also beneficial, then we practice benevolent truthfulness. However, in the case where expressing the truth may actually lead to harm or may actually lead to falsehood, in that case we do not just express the facts, the actual truth, but we improve on it so that the outcome will be benevolent. Say, for example, someone is running to you, to your house, knocking at the door. A young woman is opening the door and is saying, "This huge drunken guy is running after me and wants to assault me. Please help me, give me shelter." And you say, "Of course, please come in." And so a few minutes later, boom, 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 someone knocks on your door and it's a huge drunken man. And he asks, "Have you seen this young lady?" And so if you're truthful, you would say, "Yeah, she's right here." But that may not lead to welfare. So you would say, "I don't know anything. I don't know what you're talking about. Go somewhere else." So, but that is only when there's a conflict between truth and welfare. And that doesn't happen very often. Most people do not tell the truth, not because they are, I should not say most people. It happens quite a bit that people don't tell the truth or lie, not because they are so concerned about welfare, but because they are so concerned of their personal interests, or they're acting out of ingrained habit. They're so used to not telling the truth. They're so used to manipulating the facts, lying, that they do it not because they're thinking, will this lead to ultimate welfare, but because they're thinking, if I say the truth, that won't serve my prestige. I will get a bad name, or it won't serve my interest. It will reduce my profit, or it will reduce my power. That is not in the spirit of satya. The spirit of satya is to be always honest, always truthful, always speak the truth, except in those circumstances where the truth may lead to harm, then to say it in such a way that improves on simply stating the facts. These two practices are the underlying practices of benevolent communication. However, there are more practices as steps. When we ask ourselves, how exactly can I practice benevolent communication? These two are the foundation. But what are the actual steps? Another practice of yoga is the practice of connecting with one's innermost self, with one's core, with the divine essence within yourself. By paying attention, by connecting to the divine essence in yourself, you remain in a state of mind that is benevolent, because the core of our being is always at peace, is always benevolent. And so the more we practice to remain connected, to abide close to our innermost self, the more we practice that, the more we remain in a state of mind that is benevolent, that is peaceful. Not only that, through that practice, we help ourselves to remain connected to the essence, to the innermost self in others. Because the more you feel connected to your own heart, the more you're in touch with your own heart, you then can feel the resonance of the heart of others. You are then in touch with the heart, with the core of others. So then to do harm to another person would be out of resonance. It would be like harming yourself, because there's a resonance between your heart, your core, and the heart, the core of another person, of an animal, of a plant. There's a resonance, there's a connection. So the practice of remaining connected to your own core is, you could say, a first step of benevolent communication.